Hello, I'm Lincoln, and today I'm going to be reviewing Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. The 1973 album, in my opinion, was their magnum opus, although I do find their 1977 album, Animals, to be extremely close in terms of enjoyability. One of the most well-regarded progressive rock albums in all of history, a sentiment to which I agree with wholeheartedly, if you couldn't tell. As this is my first video, I'll explain how I would like to rate these albums. I don't have a background in any musical production or classical music, but I, and most of you, are people who simply like to listen to music, and music is subjective. I know that much from how often my family wouldn't let me play music I like it in the car during high school, and as such, my rankings are also completely subjective. My main two criteria are the songs on the album and the average rating of them, and the album art, which I think is important. I like a good album cover. I'm sure you do too. And a final score of 1 to 10 will be the result, rounded to the first decimal place, simplicity. Now, let's dive into the 10-track concept album, which is around 43 minutes. The first song on the album is an instrumental sound collage, including several sounds from the other tracks later in the album, like clocks, change, like money, and the vocals from one of the later instrumentals. I would like to bring attention, however, to the heartbeat heard, as this ties the beginning and the end of the album together in a cycle, sort of. Throughout the album, all the songs meld into each other at the end, making it almost like a seamless single piece flowing through different movements, which I think is very nice. Similar to The Wall, if you've listened to that, their 1979 album. As it is a 1 minute sound collage, I will not take it into account, as I generally won't include extremely short songs in albums which don't work by themselves, or interludes, as they're more of a connective tissue onto an album than the core of it. My channel, my rules. And, if I eventually break them, you can, like, kill me or something. I don't know. Up to you. Now, the first song on the album is Breathe in the Air, a short, slow, and serene track. I personally love this track, and I give it a solid 9. Next up was the second instrumental piece in the album, On the Run, an amazing synthy sound, which has this feeling of anxiety or tenseness. It would probably be one of my favorite instrumentals in general, and definitely a solid 9. Time is the next song, and I consider it one of the best by Pink Floyd. A perfect track with amazing vocals, instruments, and lyrics, and including a reprise of Breathe at the end. 10 out of 10. Now, this track fades into one which was popular on TikTok, I think, a year ago, and that's The Great Gig in the Sky, which is the second, or I guess third instrumental track, which has some very powerful vocals, and I think it deserves a solid 9. Now, onto side 2 of the album, which I consider to be even greater than the first, starting with Money, which I would confidently say is a top 5 Pink Floyd song, wholly deserving of a 10. This is followed by the longest song in the album, Us and Them, at nearly 8 minutes, a jazzy, slow track which earned itself a solid 9. After this, the final instrumental on the album comes, and the best in my opinion, Any Color You Like, a perfectly composed 10 out of 10 instrumental, which transitions us to the final two songs of the album, Brain Damage and Eclipse. Brain Damage could very well be the greatest Pink Floyd song in that catalog, spanning almost half a century. A perfect track encapsulating the beauty of the album. I would give it an 11 if I could, but I won't, because I would kind of ruin the ranking system, 1 to 10. And this leads right into the final track, Eclipse, a short yet powerful song which works the perfect conclusion to the album. The line, everything under the sun is in tune, but the sun is eclipsed by the moon, leading us into the soft beat of a heart that led us into the album. 10 out of 10. Now the album art, I think is a highlight of the album. It's a prism reflecting light. Simple, sleek, and amazing. I mean, I did get a tattoo of it. And I have like four shirts with it on it, which is, I like it. One of the greatest album covers in the history of rock, prog rock, and music, I think. 10 out of 10. So taking this into consideration, the songs and the album art, Dark Side of the Moon receives a 9.6 out of 10. A solid 9 rating. And now I will show the Excel spreadsheet, which is going to list all the albums I rank. And just before I go, let me grab this. There it is. Pink Floyd. One of the my favorite vinyls I have. I love it. I need to get more, but they're expensive. And that concludes this episode of the show. Now, if you want to support me to buy more vinyls, I'm kidding. I'm not going to buy more vinyls. I'm in university. I need to pay rent. I have a Patreon. Just recommend me music. Have a nice day.